What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of The Block is Hot. Today is Saturday, which means we are going over this week's CNFT market updates. Before getting started, I want to remind everyone here that this is not financial advice, and this is just me making some fun predictions of where I think some of these different CNFTs are heading. But without further ado, let's get into it. First things first, guys, let's go over the overall volume going into the CNFT space. And I actually have some major points that I want to bring up here as far as where I think CNFTs and NFTs are going to go in the short and in the long term. As many of you guys already know, the overall volume going into NFTs, regardless of the chain, has sharply declined since January and February, where really there was just an insane craze for NFTs. And as far as CNFTs go, we have had about a 50% decline in volume, and because of that, a lot of prices in CNFTs have gone down, at least in the short term. But this isn't all bad news, guys, because I'm actually liking what I'm seeing here on the 30-day and on the 7-day chart. So what exactly am I seeing here on the 30-day, guys? Well, to put it simply, we have not really been going below 1 million ADA worth of volume. There were a couple of exceptions where maybe we were at 900,000 ADA, and we had a horrible day on the 15th and 16th where we were in the 700s, but for the most part, we've been maintaining over this 1 million ADA worth of volume. And if you look at the past 7 days, guys, that has also been the case. We had about 988,000 ADA worth of volume on the 22nd, but we're just going to round that up. And I guess on the 25th, we had about 950,000 ADA worth of volume. But the reason I really like this, guys, and I like what I'm seeing, is that we've been maintaining this volume very, very strongly. And one of the things that I was worried about when we saw this volume dip was there to just be a complete collapse in the market and for people to stop investing in NFTs in the short term. I talk about all the time how I'm a long-term investor, and a lot of times when I'm making these different videos, you'll hear me say as a long-term investment. And the reason is because I've gone through different bull cycles and bear cycles when it comes into the NFT market. And I remember when I first got into NFTs and NFTs were just going crazy, there was just pandemonium. I mean, you could have minted pretty much any project and made money. And then all of a sudden, everything just dropped like crazy. And things dropped in price like you wouldn't even believe. And then all of a sudden, for a decent amount of time, we were almost in like an NFT winter where there weren't a lot of people buying NFTs. And then all of a sudden, we absolutely exploded again. Everyone was buying NFTs and it was pretty crazy. So the big point that I'm trying to bring up here is that even though ADA has gone up 40% in the past week, we have still been maintaining this 1 million ADA worth of volume. And it shows to me that people actually believe in this asset a lot more than when they did a year ago or whenever I had first gotten into NFTs, because it shows that people just aren't completely abandoning NFTs. It's almost like a lot more people understand and are adopting NFTs and are understanding these different cycles we go on and aren't just like, oh, this was just a one-time thing, because people have seen this happen before. So it's really interesting, and it gives me a lot more confidence as far as investing in these NFTs in the short and in the long term. Now, I'm about to get pretty in depth here, guys, just about like cycles, and I'm gonna make a whole video about this, but I felt like this was important to include in this video just because of what's happening, so I can give you guys an idea of what I personally like to do. First things first, guys. I am not a technical analysis wizard. I know the basics. There are a lot more people that know a lot more than me, so watch their stuff. That is not my expertise, right? But we have gotten past some really, really, really crucial resistance levels in some of these different coins. Like Bitcoin getting above like 43,250. Ethereum got over 3K. We have Cardano getting over $1 again. We have Solana getting over $100 again. Like, these are some very big levels that we had to get past. And now my personal opinion is the big guys run the show. They purposely make things look very bullish. Then they short the market and they flash crash everything at 2 a.m. and they liquidate everyone that was getting way too greedy. And then they take the opposite position and they make money on the way up. And the truth of the matter is, guys, is the reason we're trading sideways so often is because that's how these hedge funds and major players make the most money. They make the most money off of making these swings rather than just crypto going stupid. So until this market cap is a lot higher than 2 trillion, we're going to experience a lot of this manipulation from these big players. But the thing that I want to bring up here is if they really are going to let this run, or if a lot of money just starts coming in, we usually will see a very specific cycle, or what I personally see happen all the time. And what happens is is when we trade sideways, people are like, I wonder if I can take advantage of the sideways trading and flip NFTs. Or what if instead I go on these different decentralized exchanges on these different blockchains, such as, Cardano with MinSwap now. What if we just yield farm? And the reason people really like yield farming in a sideways trade is because your impermanent loss is limited because we're not having these crazy gains, and potentially your APRs are going to outweigh, simply holding these different coins. Now, what's interesting right now is that usually Bitcoin will pump first. And it's almost like a 1-2 punch where Bitcoin will pump and usually Ethereum will go with that. And then what happens is we add on a little more greed and you start seeing altcoins get this super big pump. It's almost like a delayed pump. It's almost like a delayed punch. And what we'll start seeing is coins like Cardano, Solana, Terra Luna, AVAX, some of these more blue chip, in a sense, altcoins. And then what happens is we get even more greedy. And this is when I consider us to be in a very bullish or very greedy sentiment. Something very interesting happens. Well, instead of me making money from Bitcoin or Ethereum, instead of me making money from altcoins, these major altcoins that take a lot of money to move, why don't we get into some crazy shit? Why don't we get into meme coins, gaming coins, metaverse coins, and NFTs. The whole reason I have this in my video. And this is what happens, guys, because if we get very bullish, and all of a sudden we start seeing Bitcoin go absolutely crazy, people get very speculative. They get very risky, and they then invest in speculative assets. So if you don't know, guys, Dogelon Mars is my #1 meme coin pick. I think this is going to be the next Shiba Inu, and I've been saying that this is going to absolutely explode. This is going to go absolutely stupid, but it's only if we're in a very bullish market where everyone is super, super greedy, and the higher-ups haven't allowed that to happen yet. But if that does happen, Dogelon Mars is going to go absolutely stupid, as well as other meme coins. What else could go up a lot? Well, we have gaming coins like Illuvium, like Pyre, like Gala Games. What else could we potentially see go crazy? We could see Decentraland go crazy. We could see Sandbox go crazy. These are high-risk speculative assets to a lot of people, and because of that, whenever the market is super crazy, these coins will do absolutely insane. But we got to remember, guys, is this could be another pump fake. I mean, this has happened 100 times now where, it looks really great and it looks like we're about to run and then it doesn't. The whole reason I'm bringing this up, though, is one of the things that are in that very bullish category are NFTs again. So if you followed my train here, we were trading in a sideways market. What are people doing? They're investing in NFTs, trying to make more money, right, while we're sideways. Then what happens? We get bullish. People sell their NFTs. They get, Bitcoin, Ethereum. Then we get a little more bullish. People get into altcoins. Then we get even more bullish to the point where this shit's just going out of hand. Guess what? We're back on NFTs again, because NFTs are once again a very speculative thing. So NFTs transition from, hey, we're in the sideways market, buy me, and flip me, maybe you'll make more money, to, holy crap, we're just going crazy. What's the riskiest thing I can buy? Oh, let me buy NFTs. So to summarize what just went down here, pay attention to the market right now. Pay attention to more than what CNFTs are doing. Because if we just go absolutely bananas, then there is a very good chance that we start having a lot more money flowing into NFTs, thus CNFTs. And on top of that, Cardano is going absolutely crazy. Why is Cardano going absolutely crazy? Well, watch my other video that I'm going to try to post tonight about TVL and why I think Cardano is about to go absolutely nuts. So just pay attention, guys. We could be in a situation very, very soon, potentially in the next month, where NFTs just blow up again, and we could potentially be getting into some very, very important blue chip NFTs right now at all-time low prices, or maybe not all-time low prices, but we could be getting some very good buys right now where a lot of people are selling because they're not paying attention to this. But just remember, we have to go very, very bullish for this to happen. So if we're not going very, very bullish and we're not seeing these new really big higher highs, then this could potentially not happen and NFTs could be on the sideline for a lot longer. So just keep that in mind. Congrats if you made it through that, guys. I mean, holy crap, my mind was just going crazy for a second. I literally love speculating on what I think is gonna happen, and it's just funny seeing stuff happen like over and over and over again. I'm like, is this really happening again? But regardless, we are now going over the top 10 now that that's out of the way. And number 1 on our list today is the Ape Society with 1 million ADA worth of volume this week. Guys, you might actually have to check me into a mental health institute for being such an idiot. I don't know why, when these were 400 ADA like 2 weeks ago, that I didn't buy it, especially when I talk about narratives and when I talk about this being better than chilled kongs. I had a feeling this was going to be a lot better than chilled kongs, and one of the videos I've made on this channel talking about narratives is about trying to find projects that fit some sort of story that other people are going to believe, and the more people that believe in the same story means the more people that are going to buy it. And what happened this past week was that Bored Ape Yacht Club, the second largest project on Ethereum as far as NFTs go, literally right behind CryptoPunks, released their Ape coin, and their Ape coin went literally bananas. I couldn't believe that Ape coin wasn't a coin that had been named yet, and they literally released on every single major exchange, centralized exchange at the same time. And if you owned one of those Bored Apes, you literally made at least $50,000. Some people, depending on when they sold, even made upwards of $300,000 to $400,000. Absolutely insane. Those Bored Apes then went from 60 ETH to 100 ETH, and it's like impossible to get one right now, and you would have made an absolute crap ton of money, and I am a very sad person. Now, what happened, guys? What happened? Well, guess what the number 1 ape project is on Cardano while Ape's shit is going absolutely bananas? It's literally the Ape Society. This is the narrative. Yes, they have the Society token coming up. Yes, they have the metaverse cabins coming up. Yes, they have all these families. Yes, one of these sold for $100,000 recently, one of the King Medicis, whatever. I really don't care. As far as price predictions for this go, like I said when it was at 700 ADA, I have no idea what's going to happen with this project. This is going bananas. It could keep going bananas, but the main point that I want to bring up here, guys, is I believe that this project has overtaken chilled kongs as the direct comparison to Bored Ape Yacht Club, and there is a potential for these Ape Society apes to be absolutely astronomical in price if we do get super bullish in this market, or even if we sideways trade again, because then that's going to bring more people in NFTs. Honestly, what I realized about NFTs, it's always a great time to get involved in NFTs. You just have to change your strategy depending on what's happening in the market. And I'll tell you what, guys, if we get super bullish, then I'm bullish on NFTs. If we go back down again and we trade sideways, then I'm bullish on NFTs again. And I'm actually very bullish on this project in the long term. Is getting in right now a good deal? Well, guys, whenever you 4 times in price in a couple weeks, I usually say no. But I have no idea when to personally get into this project. We could see us get back down to 1,000 again and then pop off. We could see a lot of resistance at 1,500 and then go all the way back down to 1,000 and then pop off. But I don't think this is the case. I think that we're just going to go higher and higher and higher. And even though I think this is too risky for me to get in right now, and I'm probably going to be on the sidelines again, I'm probably going to cry again next week. The reason why I don't think these are just going to crash out of nowhere is they actually haven't announced the date yet for those metaverse cabins, and they haven't announced the date yet for that Society token. So it's one of those things where most of the time we have a massive run up leading to a major event, and then we have a crash after that event happens, and then that's usually when I buy for a long-term investment. But the thing is, guys, is we've been going crazy and we don't even have a release date yet. So there's a world where once they release that release date, these could run up all the way to 2,000 ADA, and then afterwards maybe they drop down to 1,500 ADA again. I have no idea, but I'm definitely looking to buy one of these. If it does get to that 1,000, I'm going to buy it for the long term because, like I said, guys, this could be the Bored Ape of Cardano. Coming in at number 2 on our list today, guys, is Spacebudz with 762,000 ADA worth of volume. Now, someone in the comments section in last week's market update video made a very good point, and he said I can't really be looking at JPEG Store because JPEG Store doesn't have as much volume when it comes to Spacebudz as does their website. Now, on their website, they have about 6.3 thousand ADA floor for these Spacebudz, and my opinion has always remained the same for these Spacebudz. I love Spacebudz. I think Spacebudz Spacebudz are going to go absolutely stupid. And if you're buying Spacebudz, have a long-term mindset on it, because some people might call me crazy, and maybe I am crazy, but these will go for a couple $100,000 in the future. And I think that could happen as soon as 10 years. I think potentially even 5 years to see those kind of numbers. And I know people think that's crazy. I don't think that's crazy. And I'm very bullish on CNFTs. And don't take this as investment advice, but I really would be surprised if these weren't worth at least $100,000 in the future. I mean, this is just the #1 OG project, and I will always have my opinion on that for Spacebudz. Coming in at number 3, we have Pavia with 461,000 ADA worth of volume. Pavia has been kind of trading in this range of 300 to 400, more so recently between 300 and 350. My opinion on Pavia is also the same as Spacebudz. I don't think these are going to be worth like 100,000 or anything ridiculous like that, but I do think these are undervalued and a good blue chip to pick up. That's only 315 ADA. A lot of the stuff that they're going to be doing in Pavia is going to be coming out this year, and I love just constantly buying more plots every so often and really averaging my price in when it comes to these plots of land. If you're interested in knowing more about Pavia, definitely check out J Crypto. He has a really great YouTube channel, and he's a really big fan of Pavia. I actually think Pavia is a sponsor of him, and he does a lot of content going over this in case you wanted more info. Coming in at number 4, we have Bosscat Rocket Club at 423,000 ADA worth of volume. Now, what happened with Bosscat Rocket Club? Well, what happened is exactly what I predicted last week in last week's market update video, and that was that it was going to go from 2,100 to 2,300 ADA all the way down to about 1,500 ADA and then have a really good bounce off, and that would have been a really great entry price. And guys, that's exactly what happened. If you look at sales, let's just go to the third page. Maybe I went a little bit too far, but yes, if you look here, guys, we were trading all the way around like 2,000 to 2,300, and then we just kept going down and down and down, and we went all the way to this 1,500 ADA range. We even had 1,495, and a lot of them were being bought up at this 1,500 ADA range. That really was an amazing opportunity to buy. And look at how many were being sold at that. What a strong floor. And this just gives me more confidence in the future that whenever it goes down to 1,500, that's just an amazing buy. Now we're sitting at around 1,800 for these cats, and I think that we're actually going to trade in this range for a while. I think we're going to trade between 1,500 and 2,000. Every time we get near 1,500, that'll be a good buy if that does happen again. And I think that these are going to have a bounce up probably sometime next month when they do that second drop of Boss Planet. I think that right before the second drop of Boss Planet, we could see these cats have a decent bounce, and they could potentially get above that 2,000 number and get all the way back up to maybe 21 to 2,300. And then, in my opinion, that would be a good time to sell, wait for that Boss Planet to drop, and then all of a sudden, once that Boss Planet drops, I actually think buying Boss Planet would be the better move instead of waiting for these cats to drop. I mean, these cats will probably drop all the way back down to about like maybe 15 to 1,800 range again, but I think Boss Planet is actually going to take a more significant hit just because the more land that's going to drop, and I'll make another video covering Boss Planet when that does happen. But I think depending on how much more land they drop, we could see Boss Planet getting all the way down to 200 ADA. If you do have Boss Planet right now, keep an eye on how much more land they're going to drop, because right now might not be a bad time to sell if they do decide to drop a decent amount more land. Okay, guys, so I realized today, for whatever reason, I'm just rambling and my mind is honestly just way too insane, and that this video is going to be way too long. So I'm going to be going over these next ones relatively quickly and just kind of giving a rapid fire. As far as Boss Planet goes, I was just saying, guys, that this could potentially drop more because there's going to be more supply. Keep an eye on how much new supply is going to be added. If it's a decent amount of supply, we have to take that into consideration. So basically, guys, what I would do here, there's like 33,000 plots of land, right? So if they added 10,000 more plots and there's 33 plots in totality, that means they're adding supply by 30%. So what I like to do here is I like to times, basically, I subtract 1 here, and then I times that by the current floor of 289. So we'd be looking about 201. So if they are launching, like, let's just say 10,000 more plots of land, then we would be looking at a 201 ADA floor, which would make a lot of sense. I have no idea how many pieces of land they're going to drop though, but that's pretty much what I like to do to calculate it. Number 6 is Spacebudz here. Spacebudz look pretty cool. They're kind of like a collab between the Bazaar team and Spacebudz. They look cool, but the big thing is, guys, is I'm not a huge fan of collabs as much as the original project, just because I feel like a lot of times people don't don't really care about collabs in the long run. I do think these look cool though, and I know that their other stuff has been doing well, and that the team behind this is actually very well known and they have a large following. So keep an eye on it, but I'm not crazy about any sort of collab stuff. Old Money has been going on an absolute tear. I think just a week ago they were at half this price or even less. They were at like 150. This is a project that I haven't paid too much attention to, but they have a crazy community. They're very transparent. I like them a lot. I don't own any yet. I am a little worried with just the owner to NFT ratio. A lot of these owners are holding a lot, which is never a great thing to me, but it also means that these holders aren't really taking profits, which means they really like the project. So maybe just something to keep your eye on. I haven't invested, like I said, but it's definitely on my radar now. Retroheads was a project that came out this past week. They aren't doing too well. They're about half mint. That's why I'm not minting a lot of stuff. Right now, really, the main strategy is to get as many blue chips as possible and to stay away from most mints. Their whole thing is they're going to have a data analytics tool. There's already CNFT analytics, and there's already CNFT Jungle. There's a lot of stuff. I know like CNFT Jungle's team is working directly with JPEG Store, and they're going to have an amazing analytics platform. So I'm not even very bullish on this analytics tool personally. So I'm kind of staying away from Retroheads. If you like the art, keep the art. DeadPXLZ is another project that's had a lot of volume recently. This one is actually really clean. I like DeadPXLZ a lot. Once again, guys, even though ADA's been going up, these have been maintaining or going higher. Definitely take a look at blue chips. A lot of people are putting their money from other NFTs into blue chips, and it makes a lot of sense because they have, the highest level of confidence. The boss parts did exactly what I said, guys. I said that it was going to drop a lot. I even said that it would go down to about 2,800. That's exactly what happened. I think buying these as far as a flip is probably not a bad buy because they're going to, have all these different benefits if you hold the parts like they keep doing. So potentially right now isn't a bad time to get into a flip. I'm keeping an eye on this though because potentially we could go even lower to that 2,500 ADA range, but this is not a bad entry point around this 3,000 ADA level. There are just a decent amount on this floor though, so I'm not jumping into it yet. Cornucopias GTI Javelins. I'm still very bullish on these. These haven't moved much in price. They actually had this little infographic come out recently. You're going to be able to rent these. You're going to be able to stake these. You're going to be able to race them. They're going to be super fast. They look cool. Their land sale is going to happen sometime soon, maybe in the next month. These are also going to give you whitelisting or early access into the game. I'm not so sure about the land yet. If they're really smart, in my opinion, what they should do is these should be a whitelisting tool for their land that's going to be coming out, but I don't think they're really going to go that route. We'll see what happens. I've definitely been buying a decent amount of these though and just holding them for the long term. Clay Nation is a project that I've had my eyes on a lot recently. They have a strong community, another blue chip. That's why they've been holding their price well. They have that Clayverse coming out soon. Definitely keep an eye on these guys. I think these could go on a run when the Clayverse is announced and once that release date is set, because a lot of people are going to want that whitelisting for that Clay land because that's going to be a pretty big deal. Smooth Yeti Mountain Club, 220 ADA. You guys know the deal with these Yetis. I love the Yetis. The community is strong. The marketing is strong. Their growth has been organic and has been doing a really good job. I think these Yetis are going to have a run up leading up to those parts, and then it's going to follow the traditional, hey, we're going to have a massive run up. People are going to try to get the parts, and then they're going to dip these Yetis afterwards. That'll be a really good buying opportunity. I think if these dip down to 200, that 200 has been a very good support level, so that's going to be, in my opinion, a good buy-in price. I think once those parts actually launch, I'm going to be looking to make a snowmobile or trying to make a snowmobile, depending on what utilities are going to be announced, just because I know a lot of people are going to be panic selling those parts, and I might be able to make a snowmobile for pretty cheap or buy parts so I can trade for a snowmobile and people in my Discord and just other areas. These Aneta Angels came out recently. I didn't mint them. I believe the mint price was either like 20, 30 ADA or it was around this. You had to be in their stake pool in order to get into it. I know these are going to have different benefits, but I don't like them. I feel like they kind of went cheap on the art. Like they could have definitely made something cooler. I'm not a huge fan of the art personally. It's not really doing it for me, so I'm personally staying away. But if the utility from these is outweighing that price, then definitely take a look into it, because I know that they are having different benefits in their ecosystem, and I'm pretty sure Neta right now is the largest Cardano project when I was looking at Muesli Swap. Another project that I've had my eyes on is Funplastic, which is formerly Benjamin's group. A lot of people did get disappointed disappointed on these eggs. It went from 400 all the way down to 100. People aren't a huge fan of these, in a sense, kind of like McDonald's toys, but I do think they look pretty cool. I do think they look pretty unique, and I think getting in around this price isn't a bad idea. I know Benjamin's group is a lot more than the art. They are going to have different utilities, and there's a potential that some of their utilities is going to be worth getting in around this price. We also have Blockowls under 200 ADA for their season 1, and their season 2 is going for around 120. I do like Blockowls. I don't think a lot of people know about these yet. It's definitely off of a lot of people's radar, and as far as a long-term investment goes, I do not dislike this price at all. Now, there's one more project that I wanted to go over, and that is the Mutant Gang, the Mutant Crocs, and the Mutant Toads. So they actually just recently launched their ability to stake, and they're going to be giving their rewards from their Epoch marketplace to anyone that's staking. And I don't know what's wrong with JPEG Store right now. There we go. These are going for about $265 to $280. A lot of them are selling on Epoch art because guess what, guys? That is their marketplace. So if you're a Mutant holder, you want to help them out. I'm going to make a whole video covering whether or not I like mutants and whether or not I think that staking and whether or not I think that marketplace is actually going to be successful or not. So if you're interested in that video, make sure you like this video and you subscribe to this channel because I'm going to be making that video shortly. Now, I'm just going rapid fire here and I'm still on a roll, so I'm just going to keep talking without doing a clip. I have not really done much this week at all. I did sell my mythic javelin for about 2,600 ADA. I just felt like, what's the point of having a mythic? Like, I know you might get earlier access into the game, but I'd rather have 2,500 ADA. I really haven't done much though, guys. I bought a couple more Javs at this price that we're at, and that's pretty much it. I've just been holding everything. I haven't even been minting anything. I was telling people the thing that I was most interested in were those AO Nomi Sky Block 11s that I didn't go for because I honestly was busy. And then I was also interested in these Prosperian passes. I don't know how to spell Prosperian, but regardless, those passes are going for about like 55 ADA right now. I think they were 35 ADA at mint, and I don't think those are a bad buy either for a long-term investment, just in case that team starts delivering on a lot of stuff. I've been in contacts with the CEO on and off for a while now, and he's definitely ambitious, and he definitely has a lot of stuff planned, so definitely keep an eye on those passes. But yeah, that pretty much sums up this week's CNFT market update video, guys. Just to remind everyone here, keep a look on the overall market, and not just the CNFT market, because if we do get really bullish again, then I do expect eventually to have an insane level of volume going into Cardano. And also make sure to check out the video I'm going to post soon about TVL, because I think that's even another testament towards CNFTs and another testament towards Cardano that is going to be rolling out over the next 6 months to the year. But yeah, I think the main strategy here, guys, is to really get into these blue chips because they've been very resilient, and look for some really great buying opportunities on some of these smaller CNFTs as well, just because they had a massive sell-off. And for me personally, I like buying stuff that people aren't buying. I like buying stuff that people aren't paying attention to. And I think that's what this overall industry is like when it comes to CNFTs. But I think like more than anything, like right now, there's some crazy opportunities, because if we do really have like another spike into NFTs out of nowhere, then I mean, it's just going to be pandemonium, and you could potentially make a lot more money off of some of these smaller CNFTs that were massively sold off right now than compared to some of these blue chips. I still think getting into the blue chips though is probably the safer route. But yeah, that's it, guys. Hope everyone here has an awesome day.